Own the Road with Kelly and Bob is brought to you by Mueller Metal Roofs and Buildings. Made in America, made to last. Coming up on this episode.
At the end of the day, like, the repair is a great feature of the store, and it's where we started. It's kind of like the backbone of the store, but it's not what keeps us alive. Because at some point with the repair, you can only do so many repairs, but I can sell more boots and I can keep selling more product.
Hi, we're Kelly
and Bob Phillips, and we're on the perpetual road trip of America's back roads,
where the journey is always the destination. Hi, and thanks for joining us for this episode of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. I'm Kelly Phillips.
And I'm Bob Phillips. Okay, Kelly, I'm a baby boomer, as you know. When I was a kid, I knew a few classmates who eventually took over the family business. My good friend Charles McComas followed in his dad's footsteps and built his dad's single-vehicle dump truck business into a trucking empire, and that wasn't all that unusual back then.
Yeah, but these days, even though close to 90% of U.S. businesses are family-owned, fewer than one-third of those companies have transitioned to the next generation. Now there are indications that may be changing.
Yes, there are. Since 2018, the number of small firms employing owners' children under the age of 30 has doubled.
Wow.
And it seems long-term involvement by those children is increasing too, in what some are now calling the Great Wealth Transfer. Many family businesses are now planning to transfer ownership to either children, or in some cases, grandchildren, within the next 5 years.
While on the road in Montana recently, we ran across just such a family business when we walked into Carter's Boots and Repairs.
I was born and raised in Bozeman, literally in a backpack on my dad's back in the shop. Like, he'd put me in a backpack and he'd be on the sander grinding. He'd put me in the baby carrier, and he'd put me in next to him and by the sander, or he'd put me in the office and I'd be sleeping while he's working.
What were your very first memories as a kid of being at work with your dad?
I was in kindergarten, and I was standing at the sewing machine, the Adler, that's right over there actually, and I was sitting there just making gun holsters for my toy guns.
You made your own holsters for your toy guns.
Yep.
Did they have caps on yours? Or?
Depending on which ones I had, yeah.
Everybody else had the plastic faux leather. You had the real leather.
We made myself little holsters. Yeah, it was terrible compared to the plastic faux leathers because I was the one that stitched them.
He was the envy of all the other little boys in kindergarten.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I wanted to be just like Woody.
28-year-old Garrett Carter grew up in his family's boot sales and repair store that dates back to before he was born. He says his dad, Jeff, was in the boot fixing business when he decided to go out on his own.
He was working at Schnee's, which was downtown Bozeman, too.
They're big operation, great big.
Schnee's actually started like my dad, with a little hole-in-the-wall boot repair shop, and then they expanded, and then my dad eventually, he's like, I need to do something different. And then Schnee presented to him buying the repair department from Schnee's, which is why Schnee's doesn't have one anymore.
So he actually ended up buying the repair department from his employer,
right?
And going out on his own.
Yes, and he had a sander and just the repair stuff and little shoelaces and conditioners and stuff like that.
He was a cobbler.
He was a cobbler, yeah, through and through from the beginning.
Garrett Carter's dad, Jeff, had started his own boot company and eventually added a custom line of boots to his repair shop. His little enterprise grew into a full-fledged family business.
Yes, it did. But Garrett is in that group of people who were born in the last 5 years of the last century, caught somewhere between the millennials and Gen Z. He had no intention of working at his parents' company.
I actually was a professional ski instructor for 8 years, snow skiing. And then I was also a golf coach for like a year because I got that job, but I was working at a golf course. So my first job was when I was 13 at a golf course. So I didn't work for my dad until I was like 16 to 18. I didn't want to work for him.
Why?
It's one of those things when you grow up with your parents and then you do chores around the house, you see how they boss you around doing that. You don't want to necessarily have them as your boss.
But at some point, you came back.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
I wanted to go to Paris.
Yep, Garrett wanted to go to Paris with his high school French class. But for that, he needed money, the great motivator.
What were you doing when you first worked for your dad?
Just shiny shoes.
Shining shoes.
Yeah, just shiny shoes, dumping trash cans and helping people pick up repairs. I wasn't selling, I wasn't doing anything else. I was the lowest man on the totem pole. And I still went to Paris. Yep, Paris, Barcelona, through Italy.
Show us around. I want to see your area where you do.
Okay, so this is our leather workers bench. Back here we have this is the finishing area. In other words, we'll make them look pretty. And this is a glue bench, so this is a downdraft. This sucks the air out of here, shoots it outside the gluey, stinky air.
Is this solitary work when you're repairing?
Very much.
You like that?
I do.
Jeff Carter, Garrett's dad, is the official boot repair guy here at Carter's. These days, his older son Cameron is starting to pitch in on that chore.
Our oldest son Cameron, he's now to the point where he lines Jeff out on the things that he needs to do.
He does all the prep work, like he'll cut off all the soles and pull off all the heels and pick the stitches and whatnot, and he doesn't sand too much yet.
Together, Cameron and Garrett will take this family business into the next phase. And Jeff and Mom Lisa couldn't be happier about that.
Come up here and eat lunch, and I mean, what a blessing. You'd be able to work with your sons all day, And
we had been talking, probably 10 years ago of what is the 10-year plan? What does that look like for us? And does it mean that we try and sell whenever he's ready to retire? Do we liquidate and just close the doors? So to have Garrett and have Cameron, our older son, he's much more involved with the repair of things where Garrett has really become the face of the store. To have those two boys step up and say, hey, yeah, we see that this could be our future. I mean, to know that Carter's will go on with them.
And to know that you guys started something that your kids
are interested in.
I want to take that over. That seems like it'd be huge.
Yeah. I mean, what a blessing.
Yeah.
What a huge blessing in our life for them to want to do that.
shoe repair used to be in every little town across America. There's only a couple thousand of us left.
Yeah.
Across America. I every week I'd hear someone say, oh yeah, we used to have a little shoe shop in our town. The old guy either retired and they just closed it, or he died and they closed it. And so I feel fortunate that Garrett is going to carry on the tradition.
And it appears this could be the beginning of something old that is new again, passing the family business torch to the next generation. It's been a while since that was considered at all common.
Of course, our conversation with the Carter family went on a lot longer, and there was some great insight into how and why this is happening and how they all feel about it.
We begin with an explanation from Garrett about what Carter Boots and Repair is all about.
We got 3 different categories. Hiking and hunting boots over here. White's has a couple hiking and hunting boots. We've got your Danners, which are going to be work boots. We have White's, Nicks, and Franks, which are going to be your handmade, logger, ranching, lace-up boots. You can go office in those. If you want a lace-up office boot, that's going to be built really well. A lot of construction guys that work inside the office but need to go out in the field every once in a while, they like to have them because they look good in the office, but then they're going to perform well out in the field too. The Danners are much more of a construction worker boot, steel toes, stuff like that. We carry Kenetreks, which they're going to be mainly hiking and hunting boots. So you have like your light hikers all the way up to your heavy duty hunting boots. And then obviously we have cowboy boots. All of the cowboy boots that we have in here, they're going to be either handmade in Mexico or America. Leon, Mexico, they make a great cowboy boots. And then like we carry Blackjack and a couple other brands like Olathe, Anderson Bean, Rios, and Mercedes. Those are all made in America. And so they're going to be all hand built. They're going to be built with all leather, all genuine leather products. And
You do repair too.
we do, yeah. So we resole boots, we patch them, we heel them,
And not just cowboy boots.
not just cowboy boots. The White Snicks and Franks, those logger style boots that we don't sell to. People will bring in different brands like Tecovas that we don't carry. They'll bring those in. Lucchese's we don't carry, and they'll bring those in. Red Wings, we'll still fix them.
Is that very common to have your regular shoes or your boots resoled or rehealed or all of that? But for all of these, for these other outdoor things, is it common to?
Yeah, like the Kenetreks, they're designed to be resoled, so like we resole them as well. So it's not like a one and done. Like your sole falls off, and you got to go spend another $500.
Especially after you've broken them in.
Oh yeah, especially after that. Yeah, you want to keep the boots that you spent a lot of money on alive, and also that are comfortable now that you took all that time to break them in.
Do you see a lot of people walk through your door that, these are my favorite pair of?
I think that's the number one line I get with somebody with like a pair of boots where I'm just like, it really is not worth it to fix these. And they're like, oh, these are my favorites though. They'll sink the money into them sometimes, like where I tell them it's going to cost more to fix the boot than to buy a new one, and they want to do it.
How many pair of boots do you own?
I think we counted them up and I was like 18 or 20 last time.
That you personally have?
Yeah,
How often do you wear boots?
every single day.
You're the next generation for this family business. Mm-hmm. Do you love it?
Oh yeah. I'm in here just as much as my dad. Well, he's here more than me still, but I'm here 6 days a week, typically 10-hour days, roughly 9 to 10-hour days. Yeah.
What is it about this business that you love?
It's people, honestly. Like the people keep bringing me back. Like you have your good days and your bad days as always, but I have way more good days than bad days. And it's just one of those things where it's just fun to talk to them.
Do you realize how important it probably is to your dad that you're here ready to take over this business that he started?
I mean, I haven't quite registered that yet because I don't have that lineage, right? I don't have children. I officially take over here in 2.5 years.
You've got a plan for that.
Yes. He's officially retiring from owning the company. I will become the president of the company.
Can people order your stuff online?
Oh yeah. We have a full-fledged website. We have literally almost every product in the store on the website. I would say 98% of everything in here is on there. So there's a couple like in-store exclusives that you can get, but not a whole lot of them. We photograph everything. We put it up there. Yeah.
Do you still smell the store?
No,
You
I've
can't
never
smell
I've
this.
never smelled it. I don't even know what my own store smells like.
You don't know what everybody's talking about when they walk in the door.
I walk in and I hear it every single day. This place, I love the smell of your store.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did it this morning as soon as we walked
she
in.
did.
Yeah, I've never been able to smell it. Literally being born and raised in it, like
You poor person, you.
You have missed out.
I go into somebody else's repair shop and I can kind of smell it. I get about 10 seconds of the smell.
Okay, you know what it's like when you walk into like a bakery?
Yeah.
You know that smell?
Kinda.
Okay, kind of.
I also have like no sense of smell on top of it.
You're killing me. You're actually killing me.
I'm feeling sorry for him. You know?
Fresh bread, fresh leather.
Yeah, all of this.
There's just,
I'm missing out on a lot of life apparently.
Yeah,
Yes, you
the
are.
Smells of life. Do you feel blessed that you've come up into this and here you are, 28 years old, and a couple of years from now, you're going to be taking over the family business?
Yeah, I mean, like it's obviously like it's one of those things where it doesn't register for somebody my age quite as well as somebody like my dad's age, where it's okay. Like, you don't know how lucky you are, because like I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very fortunate. You know, my dad worked really hard to build something, and then during right after COVID, the building that we were renting down there sold. So we were replaying hot potato with our landlord down there, and so it was just one of those things where like he was at the point where he's like, I'm gonna either have to find a smaller building and kind of do this to pay for your mom and my lifestyle, and just keep working and doing this in a smaller capacity, or you're gonna have to take over. And then so at that point, that's when I decided to take over.
Go back to when Jeff first took over the repair business, from the other company and started his own thing and all of that. At what point did you foresee that this was going to be a family business that would develop? How long was that?
Well, Jeff and I met in the fall of 1989. I was a sophomore going to Montana State University at Schnee's Boots and Shoes. Jeff had already been there for a long time. I needed a part-time Mad Money job. And so I got a job as a shoe salesperson, and that was in September of 1989. We became friends, started dating in February of 1990, engaged in April, married in August of 1990. In about 92, Jeff was thinking, okay, now is the time for me to step out and do something on my own. And so he built a house with his uncle. He worked for UPS for a while. And Stephen Gene Schnee, who still owned Schnee's at that time, came to him and said, we're thinking we'll close the repair part of this business. Are you interested? And we thought about it and prayed about it for a long time, and Jeff said, okay, let's see if we can do this. So we spent 6 months of evenings and weekends writing up a business plan, doing all of that paperwork in order to get a loan from the bank. And so we got that all put together. And April of 1994, he opened up in a little back room area at 11 East Main, downtown Bozeman, our first repair shop.
And he was a cobbler, not a boot salesman.
Correct. We didn't have any retail. I mean, we might have had laces and polish, and that was it. We didn't carry any work boots. We didn't have anything like this in 1994. Jeff and I met in the fall of 1989. I was a sophomore going to Montana State University at Schnee's Boots and Shoes. Jeff had already been there for a long time. I needed a part-time Mad Money job. And so I got a job as a shoe salesperson, and that was in September of 1989. We became friends, started dating in February of 1990, engaged in April, married in August of 1990. And Stephen Gene Schnee, who still owned Schnee's at that time, came to him and said, we're thinking we'll close the repair part of this business. Are you interested? And we thought about it and prayed about it for a long time, and Jeff said, okay, let's see if we can do this. So we spent 6 months of evenings and weekends writing up a business plan, doing all of that paperwork in order to get a loan from the bank. And so we got that all put together, and April of 1994, he opened up in a little back room area at 11 East Main, downtown Bozeman, our first repair shop.
And he was a cobbler, not a boot salesman.
Correct. We didn't have any retail. I mean, we might have had laces and polish, and that was it. We didn't carry any work boots. We didn't have anything like this in 1994. So we just started very slow, very gradual, bringing in some of the retail, bringing in more of the accessory type things. So it just has been a gradual build of boots and styles, and then along comes this one.
With big dreams.
Right? And it's funny, the kids, we have 3 kids, and our daughter, our youngest, is 22. She's still in grad
Also
school.
all adopted too.
Yes, up at MSU. And they all grew up in a backpack on Jeff's back. And, we've got pictures of Garrett. He's got little shorts on and cowboy boots and a little holster.
That was like a year or two ago?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he would crawl in. We had a glass front counter, and he would crawl into the middle shelf and take a nap in there. And the kids were all raised.
If you keep this up, you're going to make us think he was cute at one point.
He was adorable.
We might want to go back.
We're a pretty tight-knit family. We spend a lot of time together. The boys come up, have lunch together every day. We're really blessed with being able to do this together.
Let me ask you, we've heard from two reliable sources that you're a little bit of a workaholic. And there's a plan where Garrett and his brother, and the next generation's going to take over here.
That was how I was raised. I mean, that's what my dad did. He started out as a farmer, and then he was some construction, and then he was a custodian at school. When he retired at 67, he started building his house. I don't necessarily want to do that, but that's just what he did. Literally, I've worked 45 years, 60 hours a week, average. It's just what I do. But we fit in vacations, we fit in trips, family trips. So I'll work less, but I'll just be, once he takes over, I'll be signing the other side of the paycheck.
Uh-huh.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
What's that going to feel like?
I know. I'm a little excited for it.
Are you?
Well, partly for him and partly for me. It's just the next phase.
What does it feel like, though, that you raise a kid and he eventually comes around to wanting to run the family business? I mean,
I'm so extremely proud of what Garrett has accomplished. I mean, he's eclipsing me in terms of boot sale finesse knowledge, but he was 16 when he started working for me, right? So he'd work a little bit here and a little bit there and learn how to repair this and do that and learn about the boots and
carried out the trash.
So now he's the guy. Yeah, exactly. And there are weeks I don't even go out front.
I want you to project for me, Jeff, a few years down the road. Let's go 5-10 years down the road, and your sons are running this thing. Mm-hmm. And you're coming in and doing some repair whenever you want to.
Well, it seems like every year they do a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. So, 10 years down the road, I think I might not be in here very much. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. See how I feel and see how my golf game's doing.
Do you think you'll look back with pride at what you guys built and the fact that they?
Oh, I'm already very proud of what we've done. It's sort of a progression. You don't see someone grow when they're there with you every day, but all of a sudden they're growing up, and you're like, oh, well, like Gary, like I said, I'm very proud of him. That it was a progression for him too. It's like first he's like, I need to earn some money. In that first 2-week period, it was like we put in 100 hours, which is a light week, a couple light weeks for me, and he thought he was going to die. Well, now he does that plus every week and doesn't think anything about it.
Now, working 100 hours a week is not uncommon when you own the grind. Don't forget to follow us along on our journeys on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube.
We want to thank you for joining us for this episode of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. Remember, you can listen to us and a whole lot more if you'll just download that free Odyssey app. Go to Odyssey, AUDACY.com to do that. And a whole new world will open up to you.
As always, a big thank you to our sponsor, Mueller Metal Roofs and Buildings, to our friends and colleagues here at the Odyssey Network, and to you for listening in.